If you've heard the name Boko Haram, you probably know it for violence. But origin stories matter, because they show how groups like this take root instead of just appearing out of nowhere. Let's rewind to northeastern Nigeria in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Borno State centered on the city of Maiduguri, where the old Kanem-Bornu Empire once thrived. Poverty, unemployment, shrinking Lake Chad. A sense that the central government is distant, corrupt, and often abusive. Add police crackdowns, poor schools, religious debates about how society should work, and you get a pressure cooker. Enter Muhammad Yusuf. He was a charismatic preacher who drew big crowds, young people especially. He called out corruption and promised moral order and justice under a strict vision of Islam. His followers set up a community around a mosque and compound in Maiduguri. They offered lessons, loans, and a sense of purpose. People nicknamed the group Boko Haram, often translated as Western education is forbidden, though it was more like Western-style schooling is corrupt. The group's actual name was Jama'atu Ahlis Sunnah Lida'awati wal Jihad. At first, the state treated them as a fringe movement. Then things spiraled: roadblocks, arrests, alleged abuses. In 2009, clashes exploded into a brutal uprising across several northern states. The Nigerian security forces crushed it. Hundreds were killed. Muhammad Yusuf was captured, and then extrajudicially executed. That moment is crucial. Yusuf's death didn't end the movement, it transformed it. Leadership shifted, most famously to Abubakar Shekau. The movement moved toward a far more violent insurgency, targeting civilians, schools, markets, churches, and waging war against the Nigerian state and neighbors. Over time, parts of the group linked up with broader jihadist networks. In 2015, a major faction pledged allegiance to ISIS and became known as iswap. In 2016, Boko Haram splintered, with iswap diverging over strategy and brutality. But the deeper roots stayed the same, a region feeling abandoned. Livelihoods collapsing as Lake Chad receded. Heavy-handed security responses that often hurt civilians. And leaders who leveraged real grievances into a rigid, violent project. Understanding the origin of Boko Haram isn't about excusing anything. It's about seeing how corruption can feed movements that promise meaning and justice. Neglect and crackdowns can feed movements that promise meaning and justice, and then twist those promises into terror. When people ask, "How did this happen?" the answer starts long before the headlines. It starts with broken trust, broken institutions, and a vacuum that the most ruthless voices rush to fill. If you want me to map the timeline and key splits on screen next, tell me in the comments. I'll dig in.